Welcome to Let's Pound Art. Today we're going to take some found items from outside in your garden. We're going to take a little mallet, bang on some paper, and make a pretty piece of art. You should have already picked up your take and make bag that will have everything you need except for your nature pieces. And let's get started. In your take and make bag, you're going to find a wooden mallet, which is what we're going to pound our flowers and other nature things with. You're going to find a piece of watercolor paper, and then you're going to get a couple pieces of cardstock that's going to look a little different and it's going to feel a little different than your watercolor paper. And the cardstock will be to practice with if you'd like to do that before you make your final piece of art. You're also going to get a piece of paper to cover your flowers or green things with while you're pounding them. And then a piece of, some newspaper. And this is to protect whatever it is, whatever surface you're pounding on. And it also just gives a cushion and makes it easier for the flowers to kind of adhere to the paper. When you get started, make sure you check with the adult in the house and see what surface they want you pounding on, whether it's a kitchen table or a counter or whatever. The only thing you're going to need to do is to pick your items that you want to pound on your paper. If you have a garden, make sure you check with your parent, or if you're visiting grandma and she has some flowers, make sure you ask permission before you pick things. If you don't have anything in your yard or your flower bed that you can do this project with, we do have flowers and some vegetables that have leaves and that kind of thing in our garden, in our children's garden here at the library. So please feel free to come and pick some things if you don't have anything that you can use for this project. One of the tips that I do have for you is to pick the freshest or most recently bloomed things that you can. If you pick something that's dried, there's not going to be a lot of pigment in it and your project is not going to come out right. Another thing that I want to mention is if you pick flowers that have a dark center like these, and you really pound on them, you might end up with more of a dark center on your flower. Also, if you pick something that's not flat, that's more poofy, like this rosebud, the shape's going to be a little different. This is a rosebud here that I did on my sample one, but because it was not flat, it kind of made a strange shape, so you could always just pull petals off and pound the petals if you want to try that. But experiment and see what kind of fun things. Some of my flowers that I tried dried a different color than they actually were. These were orange, but I did get a nice blue. Also, the thing to keep in mind is your edges aren't going to be sharp. They're going to be more abstract or watercolorish. So don't expect it to turn out exactly like this with your sharp edges on your flower. You're pounding it, so you're smushing it out, and you won't have it exactly like what you're pounding on. So you can practice on your watercolor paper, and then once you've kind of got a feel for it, you take your flowers or leaves, whatever you choose to do. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can put the flowers and the stem and some leaves, and then just kind of press the flowers face down on your paper. Or you can take just a flower, pick the stem off of it, and put it down like that and pound. However you think you're gonna like it in your flower or in your picture. And then just lay it out. You can always add more later. You're gonna take your paper, move all this back. You're just gonna set it over here to kind of protect your mallet, and then just start pounding. better, if you feel like you're getting more pressure, do it like this. Just make sure to keep your fingers out of the way because it will smart if you hit your finger. Just keep pounding. And then you can always pull your paper up and see if the color's coming off like that did. If you're not happy with it, you can put it back on and pound some more. That one is a piece of lavender, and my project is smelling really good. Just keep doing that. And again, you can pound this way if you want. If you feel like you get better force, you can pound this way. Just make way. And this will flatten your flowers. And I'm going to pull up my paper, and then I'll pull up what I've pounded. Some of your little pieces of leaves might stick, leaves or flowers, and you can just kind of scrape them with your fingernail. And you can lift things off, and you can see the color that's left. And here again with this one, because it had such a large dark center, these black-eyed Susans do have a lot. I've got a lot of brown in the center, but you will have something that resembles this. So you can use flowers, you can use all leaves, you can use whatever you can find outside. But that's the basics of the project. Please enjoy and share what you make. Thanks for joining us today for Let's Pound Some Art. I hope that you found this fun and maybe a little therapeutic to bang on things. We'd love to see any video or pictures of your completed art projects, and you can share them with us at the email address that's coming across your screen. Hope to see you next time. Bye.